So magandang buhay, my dear Lovisians. So bagong lahat, I'll take over this class, starting this lesson 5. Pakilala ko ang sarili ko. I am Father Christian Jesse M. Taliping, or you may call me Father Jess. I am now the Parish Priest of Immaculate Conception Parish, Danaili, Abulug, Cagayan. And I'm also the School Director of Divine Word High School of Danaili. And I'm also the task supervisor, one of the task supervisors in charge of the Abulug District. Mayroon pa akong apat na school na sinusupervise dito sa western area of Cagayan sa mga Catholic schools na pagmamay-ari ng Archdiocese of Tuguegarao. So I am supervising Divine Word High School of Danaili, Lyceum of Abulug, Our Lady of Fatima Learning Center Alacapan Incorporated, and San Lorenzo Ruiz Educational Institute of Lasam. Ako po ay taga Tuaw, Cagayan. Ako po ay Itawes, Itawit nak wawarahik ira. Okay. Amok gapai badding ay banag. Agsarita nakmet ti Ilocano. Ngem bisut lay amok siya Malaweg. Malaweg is Rizal, no? So yan po, no? So ito po ay ni-record kong YouTube video para po sa mga hindi makasali sa virtual class sa Google Meet, or you want to understand more para you take your time with what we call the asynchronous learning, kasi yung Google Meet is synchronous, on time, real time, live. Pero ito po ay asynchronous, so you can study this on your own time kung minsan mahina ang internet. So ito pong purpose nito. So now we go to lesson 5, moral dilemma and stages of moral development. No? Itong lesson 5. Kaya mas maganda na babalik kayo sa lesson 4. Those are prerequisites para mas maintindihan ninyo ang lesson 5. Moral dilemma. No? Ano ba ibig sabihin ng dilemma? Father, meron akong dilemma. So parang ganun. No? Sa gospel, marami ring dilemma. For example, dun sa gospel, nung pinresent kay Jesus na are they obliged to pay to Caesar or not? Pag sinabi ni Jesus na obliged na magbayad kay Caesar, ibig sabihin para bang he is against the Jewish people sa kanilang religion. Pag sinabi niyang hindi obliged, he will be against the Roman Empire. So talagang mapapahamak siya. Pero ang sagot ni Jesus, no, give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar and give to God what belongs to God. No, very Solomonic decision, yung moral dilemma. Pero ang moral dilemma minsan ay yung may dalawang choices or more than one choices, na kung pipili ka sa isa ay merong talagang may collateral damage, no? Meron masamang mangyari o merong evil effects. No? And stages of moral development. Okay? So itong PowerPoint na ito ay gawa ng mga teachers ng ethics sa St. Louis. So we have the same PowerPoint. Maybe only the manner of explaining it differs. So kinds of valuation, no? Yung from the word value, valuation. Ano yung bina-value mo? May halaga ba? No? May halaga. Okay, so anong mga klase-klase ng mga valuation? Ethics is about determining the grounds for the values. Itong binavalue mo ba ay something ethical with particular and special significance to human life? Yan. No? Ano ba yung pinapahalagahan mo? This is ethical. At sana yung pinapahalagahan natin ay pro-life. No? Pro-life. Okay. There are instances when we make value judgments that are not considered to be part of ethics. Yes. No? May mga value judgments tayo na hindi naman siya part of ethics. Sabang ethics, is this morally, this is ethical or not ethical? No? Okay? So yung mga human actions, maalala ninyo. Some valuations may fall under aesthetics. Okay? So yung beauty is in the eye of the beholder. No? So makakaiba yung taste natin sa music, taste natin sa arts, no, sa beauty, iba-iba yung approach natin, yung taste natin, yung preferences natin. Dahil nga medyo matanda na ako, pero kahit mukhang bata, so 40 years old, no, magkakaiba yung preferences natin sa music, no. Okay? So itong mga valuations sa beauty ay it doesn't fall under ethics. It was aesthetics, no? Judgments of personal approval or disapproval that is dependent on what we see, on what we hear, on what we smell, and on what we taste. So ito yung mga personal approval, disapproval. So what we see, no? Iba yung pananaw natin, no? Yung maririnig natin, yung naamoy natin, no, sa mga perfume, and also the taste of food. What's your favorite food? This is not something ethical. This is a question of aesthetics. The right to knock at the door before entering it, or it is wrong to barge into one's office. Okay? So ito ba ay isang question of ethics? Yung karapatan na kumatok sa pintuan bago pumasok, or masama ba ang papasok bigla sa isang office? So ito ba something na question of ethics, or is this outside ethics? We also have a sense of approval and disapproval concerning certain actions which are relatively more trivial in nature. So ito, may mga kultura na, o may mga tao na it's just okay not to knock or to knock. Depende sa sensitivity ng tao, papasok sa office na nagpapaalam o hindi. No? It depends on culture and also sa etiquette. No? So meron tayong sense of approval and disapproval concerning certain actions na trivial in nature. Pero ito naman, hindi ka magkakasala, hindi ka lalabag sa ethics kung hindi ka kumatok o papasok na hindi nagpapaalam sa office, no? Or hindi. Okay? Some valuations may fall under etiquette. No? Wala kang etiquette. Ano? Which is concerned with right and wrong actions. For example, pagkakain ka, kamay-kamayan, no? Yung may sounds ka bang pag kumakain, mga ganon, no? Minsan, walang etiquette, no? Yung pag-utot, no? Umuutot ka lang bigla-bigla. Ito ba ay something question? Nakakasala ka ba kung umuutot ka bigla-bigla? Maybe sa etiquette, no? Which is concerned with right and wrong actions, but they are not grave enough to be considered part of ethics. All right? But what are we concerned about in ethics in terms of moral valuation? Okay? Moral issues are issues all right, no? So, may mga moral issues na not under ethics. No? Ang mga moral issues is under ethics, and non-moral issues such as aesthetics and etiquette are issues which are not. Okay? Matters that concern life, yan, importante yan. Yan itong mga issues ng ethics and death, such as war, no? Digmaan, capital punishment, death penalty, electric chair, lethal injection, no? Abortion. No? Ito ay mga ethical issues. No? And matters that concern human well-being, such as poverty, inequality, or sexual identity are included in the discussion of ethics. So ngayon, what is a moral dilemma? Alam na natin yung valuation sa ethics, no? So ang ethics is yung mga moral issues, hindi saklaw ng ethics ang aesthetics saka etiquette. You are in a dilemma when you are in a difficult situation and its options looks equally bad. For example, yan yung choose the lesser evil kung minsan. No? Kung you are presented with two evils and no other options, so ano ang gagawin mo? No? Choose the lesser evil. Okay. Dilemma is from a Greek for double proposition. No? Dalawang proposition. It was originally a technical term of logic, ang dilemma, but we use it now for any time you have a problem with no satisfactory solution. No? May dalawang problema na wala kang solusyon. We will give examples later. Moral dilemma, difficult choices need careful decisions. It is appropriate to feel guilt no matter what course of action is taken. A dilemma is a tough choice. So may tatlong kondisyon para sa moral dilemma. First, if the agent of moral action is obliged to make a decision about which course of action is best. So you cannot but decide. No? Second, there must be different courses of action to choose from. Hindi lang pwede isa, pero more than one. And third, no matter what course of action is taken, some moral principles are always compromised. So yan yung moral dilemma. For example, dyan sa module ninyo, ang isang dilemma ay ang isang nanay na ectopic pregnancy. Ectopic is ibig sabihin outside the uterus. No? So, kung sasave niya yung bata, baka mamatay siya or ipa-abort niya yung bata. So, bawat isa sa kanila ay nilalabag ang isang ethical principle, yung abortion. No? Okay? Mamatay yung bata at saka yung i-allow mo ang sarili mo para mamamatay. So, ano ang choice mo? It's very difficult itong dilemma na ito. Okay. So, now we go to Lawrence Kohlberg's stages of moral reasoning. Yung level 1 is pre-conventional morality, no, before conventional. Level 2 is conventional morality. And third level is post-conventional morality. Sino ba itong si Lawrence Kohlberg? Si Lawrence Kohlberg is the first psychologist to do heavy research into human ethics and how people reacted to dilemmas. So yan pinag-aralan ni Lawrence Kohlberg. Kung paano nagre-react ang mga tao tulad sa example ko doon sa nanay na may ectopic pregnancy, no? And other similar dilemmas. A comprehensive stage theory of moral development based on Jean Piaget's theory of moral judgment for children and developed by Lawrence Kohlberg in 1958. Si Lawrence Kohlberg's cognitive in nature, okay, Kohlberg's theory focuses on the thinking process that occurs when one decides whether a behavior is right or wrong. Thus, the theoretical emphasis is on how one decides to respond to a moral dilemma, not what one decides or what one actually does. So, yung kanyang emphasis is paano ba nagde-decide ang isang tao kapag nabibigyan siya ng dilemma. Hindi yung kung ano yung decision niya. Okay? Yun ang focus ni Lawrence Kohlberg. Kohlberg's stages of moral development. Yan yung level 1, level 2, and level 3. So, doon sa level 1, may dalawang stage. Bawat isa ay may dalawang stages, yung levels. Doon sa level 1, yung tinatawag nating pre-conventional, ang stage 1 is punishment, obedience, orientation. So, pag you are given a dilemma, ang isang tao ay pwedeng mag-decide, siya ba ay paparusahan o siya ba ay mag-obey. So, stage 2 sa pre-conventional is instrumental relativist orientation. Level 2, Okay? Yung explanation nito ay nasa modules ninyo. Level 2, stage 3, ito yung conventional stage level, is good boy or nice girl orientation. No? May mga ganitong mag-decide. No? Okay, sa stage 4, law and order orientation, nagde-decide sila dahil sa law and order orientation. Okay, sa level 3 is post-conventional. May mga nagde-decide. Stage 5 is social contract orientation. Sa stage 6 ay universal ethical principle orientation. Okay, so tignan natin. So tignan natin sa level 1, sa pre-conventional morality. Okay, so right and wrong determined by reward and punishment. Okay, so stage 1, punishment, or obedience. Whatever leads to punishment is wrong. So may mga nagde-decide na kung ako ay mapaparusahan, mali. Pero kung hindi ako mapaparusahan, hindi ako makikita, hindi ako matitiklo, tama. Okay? So yun, may mga gumagawa ng ganong desisyon, mga dilemma. Stage 2, rewards. No? May reward. The right way to behave is the way that is rewarded. No? Ako, mabibigyan ako ng salapi, mga ganito. No? So, minsan sa mga dilemma, ay yun. No? Sa level 2, sa conventional morality, views of others matter. Okay? Doon sa level 1 is right and wrong determine rewards punishment. Sa level 2, views of others matter. Avoidance of blame, seeking approval. So stage 3, good intentions, behaving in ways that conform to good behavior. Okay? So stage 4, obedience to authority, importance of doing one's duty. So yan yung mga sometimes in dilemma, mga tao ay nagde-decide. So napaganda, paano ba tayo nagde-desisyon, no? Paano? Ano yung mindset natin, no? Mga punishment ba or reward or ano ba to, no? Good behavior, doing one's duty. Sa level is post-conventional morality. Abstract notions of justice, rights of others can override obedience to laws and rules. Okay? Sa stage 5, difference between moral and legal right. Okay? Recognition that rules should sometimes be broken. No? Ibig sabihin, may mga nag-decide na mas importante what is ethical and what is moral rather than what is legal. Sometimes rules, no, will be broken, no? Kasi minsan mga batas ay hindi naman nako-complete template lahat ng sitwasyon, mga individual particularities ng bawat sitwasyon. Sa stage 6 ay individual principles of conscience. Ngayon na nagde-decide ang isang tao through conscience, takes account of likely views of everyone affected by a moral decision. Ikaw, kapatid, no, paano ka ba nagde-decide, no? When you're given dilemma or yung mga simpleng bagay, no? By sa reward ba, sa takot, sa konsensya. So, yan. Sa level 1, pre-conventional morality, this is egoistic self-interest, no? Yung punishment rewards. Completely focus on the self, no? Ano yung nakakabuti para sa akin, no? Para sa akin, no? Pro-conventional morality concerns a childlike approach to right and wrong, para kang bata, no? At this level, morality is externally controlled. No? Rules imposed by authority figures are conformed to in order to avoid punishment or receive rewards. This perspective involves the idea that what is right is what one can get away with or what is personally satisfying. So level 1 has two stages. Right and wrong is determined by rewards and punishment. So stage 1, punishment obedience orientation. This is stage that all young children start. Ganito pa ba lang ang mindset ninyo sa pagdedesisyon, parang bata, no? And a few adults remain in, no? Rules are seen as being fixed and absolute. Obeying the rules is important because it means avoiding punishment. No? For example, kayo, no, para hindi ako mafe-fail sa grades ko sa ethics kay Father Jess, no? Kaya gawin ko. Ganun pa ba ang pag-iisip ninyo sa dahil ginagawa ninyo ang inyong mga requirements? Or Are you doing your requirements kasi this is important for my life. I do not study for grades, but I'm studying for life. So very important ang mindset, no? Our intentions on doing things. Okay? The individual will obey in order to avoid punishment. No? Parang mag-aaral lang pa ako para hindi ako if-fail ni Father. No? Ganun ba ang mindset ninyo? Behavior is determined by consequences. Whatever leads to punishment is wrong. No? Pero napakabait naman ni Father, kaya pari naman siya, no? Kahit na galaw-gaw na lang yung requirements ko, no? Papasa naman niya ako yan. No? Ganun ba? No? Morality is based on punishment. Mag-aaral na lang ako sa mga strictong mga teachers, no? Pero si Father, bago pa lang yan, hindi pa natin yung kilala, no? Kaya papetiks-petiks lang. Okay? Example, no? Haynes dilemma. Okay, itong magandang example ito, no? Okay, si Haynes should not steal the medicine because he will consequently be put in prison. Basahin niyo to sa module ninyo, napaganda, no? Okay. Haynes should not steal the medicine because he will consequently be put in prison. Yan yung stage 1. Dimple should not cheat during exam because she will be sanctioned, expelled from the institution. Tuguegarao citizens should follow the IATF protocols if they do not want to be sanctioned and penalized. Okay. Stage 2. Self-interest, instrumental purpose, orientation, rewards. As children grow older, no, they begin to see that other people have their own goals and preferences, and that often there is room for negotiation. Okay. Decisions are made based on the principle of what's in it for me. So, andyan pa rin yung self. For example, an older child might reason, if I do what mom or dad wants me to do, they will reward me. Therefore, I will do it. Morality is based on rewards. No? Sabi ni mama, kapag meron akong line of 9 o with honors ako, no? Meron akong bagong cellphone. No? Yung mga rewards na yan. No? The right way to behave is the way that is rewarded. Behavior is determined again by consequences. The individual focuses on receiving rewards or satisfying personal needs. So stage 1, punishment. Sa stage 2, rewards. No? Reward. Okay. Stage 2 examples. Maria studied very well because her benefactor will tour her to Japan after graduation. So she did well. Okay. Louis does his research because of the promotion waiting for him. Ito kaya itong ginagawa ko ngayon, no, sa pagtuturo sa inyo. No? To be honest, no, I am doing this sideline on the pagtuturo. No, maraming mga intentions. No? Ako ay nagtuturo ako para magkaroon ako ng sideline other income to do my charities, no? Para marami pa akong mapag-aral ng mga estudyante. But also behind that intention, medyo mas shallow intention is I want to use my core gift, and that is teaching and that is preaching. No, I am licensed in theology with orientation to moral and spiritual theology. I'm also licensed in ecclesiastical philosophy. So I just want to share my core gifts, my potential, my talents. So maraming mga intentions why Father is doing this. No? A 3-year-old male child will not take a bath unless he gets chocolate for his snacks. No? Employees extend their stay in the company unless their salary gets higher. Okay, so yan. No? We will stay kapag tataas ang sahod. Ngayon punta tayo sa level 2, conventional morality, broader social implications and laws. Hindi na lang puro self, kundi broader social implications and laws. Conformity to social rules remains important to the individual. At least hindi na lang puro sarili, tinitignan na rin yung iba. However, the emphasis shifts from self-interest to relationships with other people and social systems. Ma-realize natin na sa buhay natin, hindi lang puro sarili natin. Meron rin mga iba. So, kailangan nating mag-compromise kung what pleases them. Okay? The individual strives to support rules that are set forth by others, such as parents, peers, and the government in order to win their approval or to maintain social order. So yung mga individual, no, sumusuporta sila sa mga batas, binigay ng parents, peers, and government, no, para ma-win nilang approval, okay, ng kanilang mga magulang, ng gobyerno, ng kanilang mga kaibigan, or to maintain social order. Gagawin ko ito para may kapayapaan. No? Views of others matter. No? Avoid blame, seek approval. No? Gagawin ko ito para walang masasabi ang mga magulang ko. So, napaganda ng discussion natin, di ba? Sa stage 3. Okay, stage 3 ba to? Okay. Okay, sa stage 3, okay, good boy, nice girl orientation. Good intentions, social conformity orientation. Behaving in ways that conform to good behavior. There's a sense of what good boys and nice girls do. And the emphasis is on living up to social expectations and norms because of how they impact day-to-day relationships. Behavior is determined by social approval. The individual wants to maintain or win the affection and approval of others by being a good person. Pakabait ako para ma-please ko yung mga magulang ko. Okay. Stage 3 examples. Napaganda. Reasoning that considers one's immediate peers. Haynes' dilemma. Si Haynes should steal the medicine because his wife expects it. No? His wife expects the medicine. Gusto niyang mabuhay, gusto ng asawa niya mabuhay pa. Kaya yan, no? Yung what pleases others. An STP teacher asks her students to please help me clean up the mess from our area so we can all get to recess on time. Okay? So, gawin ko rin to para mag-recess na. Okay? Stage 4, law and order. Social rules and laws determine behavior. The individual now takes into consideration a larger perspective, that of societal laws. All people have the duty to uphold laws. Moral decisions making becomes more than consideration of close ties to others. The individual believes that rules and laws maintain social order that is worth persevering. Okay? That is worth preserving, I should say. Obedience to authority, importance of doing one's duty. The focus is on maintaining social order by doing one's duty, obeying laws, and following the rules. Stage 4 examples. Haynes' dilemma ulit. Si Haynes should not steal the medicine because the law prohibits stealing. So, you are oriented towards the law. Louisians should not color their hairs because there's a policy on colored hair and it is prohibited by the school. No? Paano kapag si father ang magpakulay ng buhok? Baka tatanggalin ako. No? Minsan nagpakulay rin ako ng brown. No? At napansin ng mga pari. Pero ngayon medyo bumalik na yung black hair. No? Okay, ano ba to? Question ng ethics ba ang pagkaroon ng black hair or colored hair? This is more of the school's preferences, no? Yan. Karapatan ng school 'yan, no? Yung academic freedom, no? Yung sa colored hair, no? Because mayroon tayong distinction. Okay? So pero hindi yan na ethical question. Nakakasala ka ba, father, kung magpakulay ka ng buhok, no? Those are aesthetics or preferences or I don't know, pero this is not a question of ethics, okay? I should buckle up while driving because if I don't, then I violate RA 8750 on a seatbelt law. O yan, kailangan mong mag-seat belt. Okay? So, masyado, yan, no? Very aware ka sa batas. Ferdy should not use his cell phone while driving his motorcycle because it's a violation of RA 10913 or the Anti-Distracted Driving Act. Okay? Level 3, Postconventional Morality. Universal ethical principles of justice, no? So pataas ng pataas, no? Saan ba kayo dyan? Sa level 1, level 2, level 3? Okay? The individual moves beyond the perspective of his or her own society, from self to society, and mas level up. No? Morality is defined in terms of abstract principles and values like justice, like truth, love, no? Ito mga abstract principles nito, and values, virtues that apply to all situations and societies. The individual attempts to take the perspective of all individuals. No? Are you doing this for charity, for love, no? For justice, for prudence, for temperance? No? Abstract notion of justice, rights of others can override obedience to laws and rules. No? Mas importante yung karapatan ng iba. And this is under justice. No? Stage 5, social contract, human rights. No? Merong philosopher dyan, sa philosopher of social contract. Okay. Difference between moral from legal right. This is something moral, something ethical, or this is something legal? Recognition that rules should sometimes be broken. At this stage, people understand that there are differing opinions out there on what is right and wrong, and that laws are really just a social contract based on majority decision and inevitable compromise. People at this stage sometimes disobey rules if they find them to be inconsistent with their personal values, and will also argue for certain laws to be changed if they are no longer working. So, hindi lang batas, no? Yung batas talagang kinikritik niya, no? Kinikritik niya. Okay, so maganda rin, even the canon law, the law of the church is evolving. No? Pati ang civil law, nag-evolve yan. No? So, we attempted to federalize our constitution, pero hindi natuloy. No? Ibig sabihin, yung constitution ay pwedeng mag-evolve. Okay? Stage 5, social contract, human rights. Individual rights determine behavior. The individual views laws and rules as flexible tools for improving human purposes. So, hindi siya masyadong naka-base lang sa law. No? Tinitignan yung spirit of the law. Okay, that is given the right situation, there are exceptions to rules. Okay? Pag nagkasakit ka, na-quarantine ka, na-COVID ka, hindi mo na follow yung week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, week 5 ng modules, no? Of course, with kailangan ng mga proseso, mayroon kang doctor's certificate, etc. No? I-present mo, magpaalam sa advisor, sa teacher. Okay, so may mga exceptions to the rules. When laws are not consistent with individual rights and the interests of the majority, it does not bring about good for people, and alternatives should be considered. This stage is defined not by what is legally right, but what is morally right. For example, nang sinabi ito ni Jesus, pag Sunday, Lord's Day, or Sabbath Day, we have to exercise public worship. But along the way to the church, may nakita kang na matanda na parang natumba, parang kailangan niyang may dala sa ospital. So anong gagawin mo? No? Dilemma ito. No? Kapag hindi ka pupunta sa church, you will disobey the third commandment. But if you do not help the matanda, ikaw rin ay magkakasala sa love of neighbor. So which is which? Sabi ni Jesus ay sa dilemang ito, you have to decide. The Sabbath is made for men and not man for the Sabbath. So pwede mong tulungan yun, no? Tulungan yung matandang yun. Kung may pagkakataon pa, may misa pa, you can attend the mass. Okay? So this stage is defined, okay, saving the most amount of lives possible is always the best decision. So saving the life of that matanda is the best decision. Kung ano ba yung mas maraming buhay ang mailigtas, yun ang best decision. Stage 5 examples. Haynes' dilemma. Ito naman si Haynes. Haynes should steal the medicine because everyone has a right to live regardless of the law. Yan, no? Parang Robin Hood yata ito. Magnakaw para ibigay sa mahihirap. No? May karapatang mabuhay. Or Haynes should not steal the medicine because the scientist has a right to fair compensation. May karapatang mabuhay yung asawa niya, may karapatan din ng fair compensation yung scientist. I would steal the drug because a law cannot justify losing a human life. Starving less fortunate people steal food to be freed from starvation and death because life is important. The government should spend its money on humanitarian purposes rather than build infrastructures that only benefit the rich people. So, pati rin sa mga projects natin, ano ba ang mas importante? Stage 6, ito yung last stage, universal ethical principle orientation is last, universal human ethics. According to Kohlberg, this is the highest stage of functioning. Okay? Ito yung highest, ito yung pinaka-level up. No? However, he claimed that some individuals will never reach this level. Okay? At this stage, the appropriate action is determined by one's self-chosen ethical principles of conscience. Wow! No? Na-determine ng one's self-chosen ethical principle of conscience. These principles are abstract and universal in application. Ibig sabihin, the more abstract, mas malawak ang scope niya and mas universal. No? This type of reasoning involves taking the perspective of every person or group that could potentially be affected by the decision. Stage 6, universal ethical principles orientation. Individual principles of conscience. That's when you decide because of your conscience. No? Okay? Takes account of likely views of everyone affected by a moral decision. Few people operate at this stage all the time. It is based on abstract reasoning and the ability to put oneself in other people's shoes. No? Ito yung tinatawag nating compassion, no? Yung empathy, no? Yung empathy. You put yourself in others people's shoes. No? What if ako siya? This stage, people have a principled conscience and will follow universal ethical principles regardless of what the official laws and rules are. So, he will follow the universal kaysa sa national or local laws. Principle of the golden rule. No? Do to others what others want to do unto you, or do not do unto others what others do not want to do unto you. Ito yung principle of the golden rule. Example, a person should steal the food because saving a human life from starvation is more fundamental value than the property rights of another person. Or, people should not steal the food because that violates the golden rule of honesty and respect. War on drugs should be stopped because it's affecting the lives of the relatives in their economic status. Drug addicts should not be killed because they are still human beings and they deserve a chance to make a difference. So, thank you for listening. So, please read your modules. Meron pong activity doon. At alam po ninyo naman yung schedule ng Monday to Friday. At Saturday, yun yung pag-check namin. So, please follow the schedule. And this YouTube video ay sana makatulong sa pag-intindi ninyo sa Module 5, sa Week 5 ng inyong subject sa ethics. So, see you again next YouTube video.